It's these two guys.
These two guys. It's these two guys.
Well, hey everybody, I am George Henry.
And this is Larry Richardson.
And we are
These Two Guys.
Yes, indeed. Before we get started, though, like and subscribe and tell your friends about us. Also, we have a Facebook page that has 8,000 followers on it. Go ahead and check that out as well. We're also doing a contest. Now, I noticed that people have been telling me when they are on their phone, they can't find the contest. So what you have to do is you have to go type in the full name. So it's these2guys.com with the numeral 2, right? / contest.html. Okay. Now, if you're on your laptop or computer, it's right there. It's on there. But for some reason, I don't know why. I'm trying to work that out. It doesn't show up on the main header on the mobile app.
The mobile motifs sometimes will do that.
Yeah. So as soon as I can get it figured out, I will. But please go do the contest. We are giving away merchandise. You can have, one of any of the things that we've got in there if you win. And we'd like to see you there. You can also just check out these2guys.com.
Yeah, check us out. And remember, that's /. So if you're looking at the keyboard, it kind of goes this way. Not that way. That's // //
Yeah.
//
So there's been a lot going on in the news. And one of the things that I don't know if you remember, we had Jeremy Scott on a few months ago. Gosh, what was that, September, October back then?
Oh, yeah, September.
Jeremy has a show called Into the Parabnormal. Now, the Parabnormal is a show that deals with ghosts. It deals with UFOs. It deals with anomalies in space. It deals
Yetis.
with Yetis, sunspots. I mean, all the different things. The cool things, like right now he's talking about how the two planets and the moon are sitting right at sunrise together, Mars and Saturn, and they're coming right up there, and you can see that. So that's pretty cool too. But he really is into the UAP, or I'm old school, UFO to me.
UFO for us, yeah. I mean, old schoolers, right? It was always. Yeah. I still have a hard time switching over to UAP.
Yeah,
but
it means the same thing as unmanned, anomalous,
unidentified, anomalous, or unidentified aerial phenomenon or phenomena.
Yeah, or unidentified anomalous phenomena. It shows up in both ways. In fact, some of the government ones refer to it as anomalous. So,
is that plural?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's supposed to be plural too.
But it would be anomaly.
Anomaly.
Yeah, if it was fun. But anyway, so one of the things they've released recently is a whole big dump of information that has come out of the Department of War, formerly the Defense Department, come out from several different military installations. The U.S. Navy has put out one where a couple of pilots saw a unidentified or a UAP and couldn't distinguish between. And then there's some from way back that they've released from back in the Apollo days.
Yes.
And here's a picture right here. We'll show you this. Here, I'll show it to you right up here. There's a picture, and you see the box that's squared out, and you see these 3 little lights there that are showing there. This was seen from the Apollo astronauts that landed on the moon there, and that was a picture that was taken. Now, nobody's making claims as to what these are, but they're just things that they couldn't understand what they were doing there and how they were there.
Yeah, this release includes historical records such as NASA's transcripts of 1969. In those records, Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin reports observing what he's described as lasers while in space.
Yeah. And then there's another photo we'll show right now. This one has 3 or 4 different, you can see it's got several different marks out there that are seen from the moon, and they show different lights in there, and that would have to be probably the lasers that he's referring to.
Is that the lasers he was referring to? Yeah.
But just starting off, I mean, let me get a sense of where you're at with this. What are your feelings about the possibility of these maybe being real?
So it's funny because, I go off of, and again, you guys know I'm a movie buff, right? The movie Contact.
Great movie.
Great movie, and just a great line that was uttered, I believe, by the fathers, like it'd be a waste of space right? If we were just the only beings in the known universe, and so yeah, obviously I believe that there's another sun, there's another third planet somewhere, there's another planet capable of creating life, right? So it's got to be in another galaxy. There's another star, there's another us, or some type of living being, right? So now the question is, are they more advanced? If we're seeing them, then yes. The thing that gets me is that why are all these ships look so different?
Right.
That's the only thing.
And why? It was like we were talking about last week about the assassination attempt, talking about how you got this grainy video,
Right.
bank robbers' grainy videos, but yet, your Ring camera outside grabs everything perfectly.
My $20 camera, I can count the whiskers on my cat's face as it gets up to try to get inside the house. But yeah, $1 million security system, and it's grainy.
So you wonder, because I've never personally experienced a UAP or UFO. I've never seen one or something that I thought was one in the sky. So I'm skeptical as to not to whether there's life out there, but to whether that life can make it here.
Well, if it is, you got to think about it this way too. Let's say these are real, right? Let's say all these pictures, and we'll show you a bunch of them, and you can go to the websites and look yourself. They're all different, right? So you got like a Buick of UAPs. You got the Cadillac of UAPs. You got the Fords. You got the Chevys of UAPs. So are we just like a petri dish of life that other beings are looking at us, because we're seeing different?
Well, but you make the perfect point though, right? We don't just drive one kind of car here on the planet.
Yeah, right.
We have Teslas, we have Mustangs, we have Cadillacs. Another planet as civilized as ours could have multiple different types of UAPs.
That's true.
Martian X says, "Oh, I don't want to drive that. I want to drive that."
Right.
I like that one. Why not? If we can believe there's intelligent life out there, why not believe they would have multiple modes of transportation?
That is a good point. That is a very good point. That's true. I've never experienced witnessing something that I thought was UAP. I have had what I consider lost time while seeing like a bright light in the sky, and that was the only thing that I could, and it looked like it's a falling meteor is what it looked like. And I was working at Boston Market. We usually closed the store, and it was like a 40-minute ride from the store back to my house. I think we got off at like 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. I can't remember the exact time, but I know when I got home, it was 2 hours later than I normally would have.
Wow. And I didn't smoke anything?
Nothing,
drink
no
anything?
smoking. I played with a lot of chicken. I don't know if and carved a lot of turkey that day. But no, I don't know what happened. And I kind of like shrug it off because maybe I was talking to somebody.
Did you hurt anywhere?
No. No weird metal objects embedded in my skin. No,
All right, just for a second, I gotta play that one clip from Independence Day.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're in the restaurant.
Yeah.
That's where the guy says they touched him. Watch this.
That was great.
That is so funny. That is so, what a great movie that was. But, and again, I was watching, it was just random. I was doing some research today, and of course, you know how it is when you're doing research, all of a sudden videos start popping
Rabbit
up.
hole, yeah.
But no, things start popping up that you're not asking about, but they're along the same lines. It's like talking and your phone all of a sudden picks up something. So Neil deGrasse Tyson was on there, and he was talking about how that humans have 20% DNA characteristics with bananas.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So why would we assume that aliens were humanoid? 2 arms, a head, 2 eyes, 2 legs, and walked around. So, he said we're either biased because of that, or we just don't have an idea of what the possibilities are. Because I think even the creature in Independence Day, had a head, had 2 arms, 2 legs. But I wonder, is that something that we've created? You got to admit, movies and TV since the 40s were depicting this kind of stuff.
Yeah, they always had arms and legs and some type of speech pattern. I mean, it's really, I think it's the limits of our imagination. I think we see what we want to see, and I think it's easier for us to digest if we see something that looks more relatable in movies and stuff. So if you're thinking about an actual alien, I mean, if we saw one, we wouldn't know what to do. We wouldn't. I don't think we'd know what to do ourselves. We wouldn't.
But that's the question, though. No, we keep hearing about all these dumps and about all the information coming out here. This one from 2023, this is from the Department of War website. Federal law enforcement officials independently reported sightings involving orbs, including one account describing orbs launching other orbs. The Pentagon has described this case as among the most compelling reports in its holdings. And yet, it doesn't, I mean, I don't have that particular video, but I have not seen a video that makes me go, oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely, yeah.
This is, something otherworldly.
And I go back to, I don't know if you remember this, and we'll find the name of it and put it up here. The UK did a TV show. It was kind of like War of the Worlds, but it was a paranormal show, and it was about aliens. And during the show, they followed this family, this camera crew follows this family, and all of a sudden there's an alien ship landing and all this other stuff. And it was because a lot of people did not realize this was an actual TV show. They were freaking out, like they were calling
So
the TV.
definitely sort of like War of the Worlds.
It was exactly like War of the Worlds. It was literally War of the Worlds, but it was in the UK, and I want to say the BBC put it on. And I think there was like lawsuits and everything. We'll put the information up here, so you got to check it out. It was probably in the early '80s. I want to say maybe early to mid '80s. I was a kid when I watched it.
I missed that somehow. I don't.
Oh my God, it was great. I mean, the acting was actually, it was acting. You could tell it was acting, but people just assumed it was a real family in a real peril from like an alien ship that had landed, and like all the shuffling and just the stress and everything that was going on. If you haven't seen it, like I said, we'll post it. You got to find it and watch it. And people were losing their shit.
We'll have to remember the name though. We'll have to figure it out. You can figure it out.
Oh yeah, I'll get it.
All right,
I'll get it.
So we'll show that with you. Now, here's a video that was taken off the Department of War website as well. Now, this depicts let me move my head over here so that we can put it up there and show it at the same time. So use my other hand. There we go. All right, there we go. So this depicts a moving object that looks like just a little ball of light going through some windmills. Now, it didn't designate where the windmills were, or I should say wind generators, not windmills. But you watch this for a few seconds as it goes through, and it's going to be kind of hard to see unless you got a big screen. But I refer to this reminds me of a floaty that you get in your eye, and it's just going straight across the screen. It's not really doing anything particular there that makes you think it's anything odd. It doesn't even look like an object. It just looks like a beam of light. And I can't figure out why they would think that's a UAP.
Anything. I mean, that's the whole thing is just if they can't identify
that's
it, right?
true.
It just
Makes it a UAP.
Makes it a UAP.
It's just a phenomenon.
It's just a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think in the big grand scheme of things, if there's more to this, then it's really just creating. I don't even think it's even really creating paranoia, because I noticed no one's really freaking out about this.
No
one's freaking out.
Yeah, but no one's. I don't know anybody who's talking about $5.50 gas, really.
No, that's true.
I mean,
that's
they're not.
true.
It's like we are so accustomed to getting screwed that we just accept it.
Oh, my car is almost like on vapors right now. I'm holding out for the war to end so I can get maybe.
You want to borrow an electric vehicle?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no one's freaking out like I kind of expected they would when I first heard this. I don't see like the huge big buzz about it. I expected a lot more from this dump than what we saw. I mean, everybody's like, well, we want to know. We really, really want to know. There was an interview not too long ago with Obama where he talked about the alien. Like, did we have an alien?
That was with Stephen Colbert.
That was Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
And then Trump sits there and says something about, oh, he's giving away classified. He didn't even say anything, but it's just like, we're hearing that it may be something, but that part is not going to get released because UAPs are still UAPs. They both start with the U, unidentified. So we don't really have to know much more than the fact that we don't know what they are.
I started watching that interview, and I almost, by the way he was saying it, I was almost thought he was going to say, I can't tell you what I know, you know? Because you think, except in the movie Independence Day, plausible deniability. That's right.
Plausible deniability.
You got that where you go, well, I can't really tell you because you don't want to have to know. And it's like, but you wonder if these presidents have any kind of information that we don't have.
I mean, Trump created Space Force. So I'm thinking maybe he knew something that no one else really took to heart. I mean, I could see like a kid,
or
right?
maybe he just had a contractor friend that built stuff for the.
That's right. That's SpaceX.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's almost like it's kind of a nothing burger. It's almost kind of like putting people down the rabbit hole. So everybody's going to start looking into these. And to me, again, like you said, it could be the fact that one ship that we see that's perfectly square is the Lexus of their world, and the perfectly round one could be the Tesla, and the one with the diamond shaped thing could be the Ford, and they're all coming from the exact same place.
Yeah.
So, but that's all we're seeing. We have not seen,
and we're not seeing any clear. Like you see the one, it's like in the clouds, and you just barely see something that's in the cloud. I mean, it could be a passing aircraft for all I know.
Yeah.
So
it's a bucket list item for me. Before I leave this earth, I want to see something not from this earth.
Yeah. So I mean, we're curious about what you think about it. How do you feel? Do you believe in aliens from another planet? Do you believe that they were inhabited here? Some people believe that we were dropped here. Already humanoid dropped on this planet from another planet of similar origin. Some people believe that. I don't know. Maybe it's just that they're really good at keeping secrets. They're really good at keeping stealth.
Yeah. I mean, if you have that technology, you can travel from one galaxy to the other probably within a couple of seconds. I mean, I would think that either you wouldn't be seen or you would. Are they toying with us?
Cloaking device.
Yeah, exactly. And just uncloak just enough to just kind of see what happens, right? Because you got to think, if beings of this level of intelligence, like we're nothing to them, right?
Right. I would, if they exist, yeah.
If they exist, we're nothing to them. Let's say if they are real and they do exist, we're nothing to them. So we troll people. Why wouldn't they do it? Right? So they probably would they be above trolling, right? Would they be? Oh, we're not gonna go by and buzz the tower and just kind of like let them see our ship for a second and then go back and watch the news and see what happens.
Could be.
see what we stir up.
But I'll be honest with you. I want to believe. I'm skeptical. Yes. I don't know, but I want to believe that there's something there. I want to believe that we're being visited. I want to believe that our government secretly has alien spacecraft that they're using for technology's sake, Right. But I can't unequivocally say, yes, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, because at some point, our technology just kind of like took a huge leap forward. So it would make sense that, we've pulled this technology from these sources that are not of this world, right? I mean, have you seen the size of some of the chips that they run now?
Oh,
I mean, they're like
incredible.
We don't even. Well, we have magnifying glasses or telescopes that can read the density of atmospheres from planets that we can't even reach, which I can understand. But where did that technology come from? We're smart, but it just like took a huge leap forward over in the last 40 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can look back, and I love referencing one of my favorite TV shows of all time, Star Trek, because you look at some of the things there, like the communicator, the flip. Then the later shows, they just touched their emblem on there, and that was their communicator,
right?
Which was good because then you could never lose it unless you lost your shirt, which Kirk did from time to time.
Yeah, or if it was a red shirt.
Yeah, or red shirt, yeah. But But so yeah, and a lot of things. I don't know so much about the space engines that they have to propel us, but certainly they're probably working on technology now that can do more than what we can do.
Yeah, and even that has to be. I believe that the things that are being rolled out to us are being throttled. Like what do they say? Even like the iPhone, right? Apple was always like 4 or 5 models ahead by the time they released the one that you're getting today, right? So, and then when the 4 or 5 years from now, or actually now the way it looks is like 12 months from now, when they're 4 models ahead, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they came up with that technology. Like it's old by the time it comes to us. From the developer standpoint, it's an old
Oh
technology.
yeah, they're working on something else by the time they roll that out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm
Well,
waiting.
that's why every year iPhone can come out with a new phone because they're constantly changing.
They're constantly changing it.
Yeah.
And we're starting to work the word quantum into things now a lot more. So now you have AI, and yeah, I mean it comes from somewhere. I don't think the humans. I mean, I think we're smart enough to obviously come up with that type of stuff, but I think there has to be something that plants that seed to get us there.
One of the things that the ABC News did a report on that is being used by the government was that a significant number of cases dating back to the 50s and 60s all center around U.S. military operations. So bases and operations, and it makes you wonder, was that some other country that had some technology that we didn't have? Was it our country that had secret technology, or was it indeed something from another planet?
Spooky. So I think the show was actually Ghost Watch, but I'm going to confirm it. I believe it was Ghost Watch.
What was that? Yeah, maybe. See, now I'm going to go off on a tangent. What was the cartoon Ghost?
Space Ghost?
Space Ghost.
Space Ghost?
Love
Space
that.
Ghost from Ghost to Coast?
God, that was so funny. Anyway, that's just often on a tangent there.
So yeah, it's and this is only the first of like 3 dumps, I believe.
Well,
it's
they
supposed to
did
be.
one back in August of something or last year, because Jeremy Scott of Into the Paranormal, he did a show on it, and I remember that because I did some of the news for that show, and they clearly, that's when they showed the Navy pilots were being buzzed by these very, very fast non-lethal objects in the sky. In other words, they weren't trying to attack them or anything. They weren't explosive. They weren't weapons of any sort, but they were just these very fast moving things. And they have the Navy pilots audio talking about them. And occasionally you get someone who retires from the military who comes out and talks about what they've seen. But none of this latest stuff here seems to do any of that.
No. Well, now if you're a Florence resident, I do believe was October of not last year before, there were reports of UFOs out here that apparently one of the air towers had picked up, and there was chatter on the airways.
Was it at night?
It was at night.
Probably a drone.
Could be.
I mean,
yeah. Some of the cheaper drones, like I said, my drone, I can't. If it gets anywhere near an airport, it'll literally like turn around and come back. It's already programmed for that because it knows it's a no-fly zone. You get some of the cheaper ones, yeah, you can probably fly anywhere you want to. Or really expensive ones that just don't care where it's flying.
yeah, turn that GPS thing off.
GPS, yeah.
So official response and Secretary of Defense, I thought he was Secretary of War.
It is
Anyway.
Secretary of...
Pete Hegseth characterized the release as an example of unprecedented transparency, although we're not really seeing anything.
No.
All right? However, many of the files remain heavily redacted, some documents containing entire pages that are blacked out. Maybe they got it confused with different files.
It could be. That's the same person with a black marker, just kind of having fun in there. Just, what the tip is about that wide.
How would you like that job?
That'd be easy. You can
I'm
black
sure a
anything you
computer
want.
does it, but I mean, if a person did it, let's see, take that off. No, can't have that.
Yeah, and then they end up dying in like some weird cause after like their job ends.
Speaking about that, what about these scientists that have? We talked a little bit about, I think, last week, the scientists that are missing or dying that were all working on projects and things like that.
Yeah, that is the strange thing is that went so far under the radar before someone just realized 11 scientists that were actively working on what the time travel and all these different propulsion projects and stuff, and they just whoosh, disappear.
Yeah. They did find some dead.
Oh, they found some dead.
Yeah, there were a couple that were dead, were killed.
Mysterious causes.
Yeah, one was a suicide, and then I can't remember what the other one was. But then and then some just missing.
Jesus. This suicides are so weird. What was the guy that one that hung himself and then shot himself in the chest at the same time? What's that, Vince Foster or something like that?
Was that Vince Foster?
I think it was Vince Foster.
Yeah, I think that might, I think you might be right.
He hung himself and then shot himself in the chest with a shotgun.
I guess he wasn't dying fast enough for himself.
Yeah. And so we got Sean Patrick.
Now, you sure he didn't hang himself and then shoot himself so that he'd go limp? And
Possibly.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we ever got the full files. And I could be wrong about it being Vince Foster, but there was some guy, I want to say it was Vince Foster, who hung himself and then shot himself in the chest.
We will put a note on top of this video if that is the case.
Yeah, because we don't want to mislead you. We're not mainstream media, so we're not going to,
we're not mainstream anything.
Yeah, we are.
So what about this Sean Kirkpatrick?
Sean Kirkpatrick, the former head of the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. That is a mouthful.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, he urged caution while interpreting this material. In a statement to ABC News, Kirkpatrick said the release contains nothing unexpected and warned that their lack of analysis or context could lead to speculations and pseudoscientific claims.
Then why release it?
Because they want pseudoscientific claims.
Exactly. You're gonna get what you expect.
Yeah,
when you release something like that.
I honestly, part of me, because we all have our little conspiracy brains. I think a lot of this is just a little misdirection. I think the hope was to kind of alleviate some of the other stresses that's going on right now in our daily lives, and say, oh look, UFO, something shiny, squirrel. I think a little bit it was that, because it was such a big announcement that they were going to do this,
right?
And I don't think it.
And yet nothing really comes from
right.
it.
Right. And I don't think it had the same weight that they expected it to come.
Well, I think I know why. I was watching a little reel today, and it was Jeff Foxworthy, and it goes into religion, so I'm not going to get into that part of it. But he was talking about, he says, he started doing this at all his comedy shows. He goes, how many of you trust our government? He said, in all the shows he's done this in, not one hand was raised. Then he goes, well, how many of you trust social media? Again, no hands raised. How many of you trust the news? No hands raised. So all our sources of information, all the things that Americans used to trust.
Yeah, I don't trust anymore. Yeah.
We don't trust anymore. And this is bad.
Yeah. I think even the devil's advocate, you couldn't really trust most of the crowd, because a lot of people really do trust most social media more than they trust news and our government.
Well, I think he meant, I like social media. Yeah. But I question everything I see that's supposed to be a fact.
Yep.
Somebody puts up there, like, well, this is really good for you. It's you take one shot a day, and you're gonna grow brown hair. No, I don't. That kind of stuff. It just because we get so much of it.
Yeah.
We get so much misdirection, and no one is held accountable.
No. There used to be a day and time where you would assume they would, but no, you're right.
One used to be get in trouble for false advertising.
Yeah. Not anymore. And it's really sad that we can't trust. Literally to the point where you can't trust your own eyes. No matter what you're seeing.
Now with AI, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I said, my auntie thought I was actually flying a helicopter. Well, baby, where'd you learn to fly a helicopter?
Well, people thought I was saluting a military aircraft. There's a Navy jet with an Air Force insignia on it. Come on, people aren't too bright. Some of them weren't, but got us a couple million views though. Yeah.
So you're right, and it's the appearance of transparency. I think you're right. It's just probably to create. I'm going to say the illusion of trust, because.
Yeah, we're telling you what we're doing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We're giving you files. We're telling you all this stuff. We're giving you a peek behind the curtain. Take a look. Here's UFOs. They do exist.
Yeah.
Or we think they exist. We just haven't identified them yet.
Yeah, or what was it? I was watching some show the other day, and they were talking about Area 51 is just a scam. So the real area is in California. That's a secret area where they have, because they just use that to distract people from where the real thing's going on in California.
Misdirection. If you want to do anything and you want somebody to look at the right hand while the left hand's doing something different, you just got to have something shiny enough in there to keep the focus.
Gold
That's
bar
it.
would work for me.
Yeah, gold bar, shiny movie, UFOs.
But like I said, so we talked over a lot around it, but really nothing earth-shattering has come out of this latest thing. I think the most earth-shattering thing we have is a AI video that we did of a pretend space saucer.
Now, I do notice that right around the peak of or right around the announcement of this release, I see a lot more flat Earth conversations coming. I see that brewing up a little bit. I don't know if you saw the same thing, but I do.
I have not seen. I mean, I'm obviously aware that it's been out there for quite some time, and I think it's funny. I mean, I don't. Again, I've never been off the planet, so I really can't see if it is round or not. But I have an idea that it's probably round. Because all the other planets around us are round.
Right, except ours is a disc. I never understood. But it's if that's a good subject there, like flat Earth. I would love to get, I've seen people with their science about flat Earth, and they would show pictures like from Artemis 2. Right, there's a picture of Artemis 2 showing the Earth, and it got spread around like crazy, and then people say, wait a minute, there's like 100 and something million satellites flying around right now. How come we don't see any of them in not one of those pictures? It's like, oh yeah. And then you look at it was Apollo 11, right? And Apollo 11 lands, and I think there's even a video, and I could be wrong on this one. Isn't there a video of it showing it coming down? Actually touching down? No. It's only video from inside.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's a video of it taking off, and it's being followed by the camera as it lifts up. So who was holding the camera?
Well, maybe they left one there in robotics.
You think the robotics followed? Yeah, I guess. Even back then, we can make it to the moon. Maybe they have the technology to have the camera follow.
They did have a pan ability. Because Hollywood had it.
Right, but who would be? Well, I guess maybe they could control it from the ship. Yeah, I never thought about that whole thing. But
in the '60s when Steve McQueen Bullet, they had remote cameras that could follow the vehicle. So I don't know why.
But the communications weren't in real time, so I don't know if somebody from Earth could be controlling in real time the camera. From the moon.
Maybe one of the two guys in the capsule.
I can see that happening. That does make sense, and that might answer the question, because I know I've seen that question pop up many times and lots of memes and everything. And we'll go, well, wait a minute. If the ship's lifting off, right, the capsule's taking off from the moon and the camera's kind of following it up, it's like, well, who did they leave on the moon to hold the camera? What poor SOB
well, maybe it's somebody
took
that's
that
already there.
Yeah.
Could have been somebody that's already there. Yeah. Hey, alien, you mind working this camera for us while we take off?
Yeah, we could do selfies, so you mind taking a picture for us? But yeah, the flat Earth conversation would be really good, because I've seen some pretty compelling.
I wonder if if somebody out there knows a educated flat earther. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Educated flat earther. We would love to have them on the show. I'd love to find out why they believe the way they believe.
I would too. I saw something about the Earth, the way the moon shines. There's some things that you listen to it and it kind of like, okay, well, it kind of makes sense. So
you can find. That's why these people exist, because there are some parts of their argument that make sense.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
And that's why they're able to be there,
and do what they do for so long. Because I always figure, if the Earth is flat and you're flying this way, right, to go, I don't know where does the line end, where the Earth ends, and sometimes you have to fly this way to come over here. So how does that work if you go down and under? Like, I don't know. I would like somebody to explain that. And where is the edge? Like, if you never saw this movie called my God, The Dark City.
Dark City.
The Dark City. It was an old '90s movie. Came out right around the time of The Matrix, and it was aliens. Basically, they were kind of like studying humans on this one little city, but the city was a disc, and it was flat, and it had a wall around it. And every time everybody wants to go to the beach, but there was obviously no beach because there was no real water. They were in space in this little dome type thing flying around this flat Earth, but flat planet or flat city. So that's every time I think of flat Earth, I always think of the movie Dark City, The Dark City, because it's flat.
I've never seen that movie. I've seen all sorts of interesting takes though in sci-fi that really feed, our interest or feed our belief. I mean, literally somebody's imagination, create Star Wars, for example, or even, I can't remember, I don't know if it was a Twilight Zone or one of those, but it's where a guy goes to the other side of the sun and he meets his exact opposite on there. So there's another Earth on the other side of the sun, and it's a mirror image of this side.
It sounds familiar, but I don't know that one.
I don't remember the name of that one. But
Wow, that sounds fun though.
it was kind of cool. But it's messed up because he can't. It's sort of like the typical thing. He's not the same person, so he doesn't do things the same way. He sounds the same, acts the same, but he doesn't do the same because he didn't grow up the same way. So
Gotta take a look for that. See if I can find that one. I love sci-fi movies.
me too.
But yeah, if you have any flat earthers, anybody who wants to share, your science with us, and nobody will really ridicule you, but we'll ask questions because we're curious. I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't have any desire to criticize anybody or belittle them for what they believe.
No.
I just want to know why.
Yeah, and
We can do the same thing with religion.
Yes, yeah,
All the
exactly.
different religions in the world. Why?
Yeah, which one is the
Faith.
real one?
Faith.
Right?
I take it all by faith.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so take what you will out of this dump of information. I think it's interesting at the same time, but at the same time, I kind of almost think it's almost like a nothing burger,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
That's pretty much what I've come down to.
yeah, a lot of information, a lot of big names sharing stories of the things that you could see. But what's tangible? Like I believe in some tangibility. Like I want to be able to show me an actual UFO. I'm sure that our cars break down. Maybe theirs break down too,
Yeah.
right? And
Get stuck here.
get stuck
My
here.
favorite Martian.
Exactly, Roswell
Or Superman.
or Superman.
Clark Kent. But anyway, if you want to go check some of this stuff out yourself, it's war.gov / I just had it there. war.gov / UFO. Not even UAP, it's UFO. So if you want to go there, you can find out all these declassified documents, the photos and everything there. If you want to check some of it out for yourself, you can see it on that.
UFO still? Well, I've seen that charging by the letter because it's the same amount.
It's the same amount of letters.
Somebody's got lazy.
Yep. So something else. I'm reaching out to our watchers out there. Mark Warman. Mark Warman is the host of Graveyard Cars out of Springfield, Oregon. He's got a TV show there. He's a bigger car guy than I am, but I love cars. We both love cars, but he actually remodels them,
Yeah. Well,
rehabs them. But he would be a guy that I would love to bring on the show. Have him on the show.
yeah. If you know him, reach out to him.
Yeah,
Let
he's
him
only
know
in
that
Springfield. We could even bring him live on camera with us.
These two guys is looking for him.
Yes. Tell him these two guys are looking.
He doesn't owe us any money or anything, but we just,
No.
we'd like to.
But if he wants to give us some money, I'm not opposed to it. Anyway. So anyway, that's go ahead. You
Oh,
had
no,
something?
that was it.
No,
Yeah.
that's it. I got nothing else because I was expecting. Our whole thought was we were going to do this, and there was going to be so much stuff that we were going to be able to talk about. And I keep looking at the monitor, not the camera. There we go. And it's like, it's just, like Larry said nothing burger.
Yeah, it was one of the biggest. Once it got announced, I thought this was going to be huge too. I thought it was going to be huge. You did research. I did a little bit of digging, but I didn't do a lot of research. And I would have been realized, okay, they just gave us a bunch of memes.
Yeah, if we'd have done a lot more research, we would have said, let's pick a different topic.
Yeah, right.
But anyway.
So,
Well, I'm not expected to be picked up by any alien craft this evening. Don't expect to see one. Would love to.
yeah. So, like I
Would
said,
love
it's on my
to.
bucket list.
I've been reading sci-fi since I was 10 years old.
Well, I'll tell you this: when we were in Cancun, I spent a lot of time looking up at the sky because they always see them in Mexico. There's always spottings in Mexico somewhere. So I figured that's probably where my neck's all hurt. I spent a lot of time looking up at the sky, like, please, especially being near the pyramids and stuff. I expected to see something.
Yeah, really.
Right?
But thanks for hanging out with us. Remember to like and subscribe. Larry, what do you
Comment.
want to tell them?
Oh, comment, subscribe. It doesn't charge you anything, doesn't cost anything,
Free.
but it does send the algorithm the little Noah thingy-bobby to let you know that you like us, and then they'll send other people our way, and then we'll get more people in, and it'll help keep this channel
Yeah.
growing.
Yeah. And remember, on our website, you can also order our energy drink. I should have one to show in my hand right now. It's our Power Blast.
Delicious.
It is delicious.
It's very
I've only had
delicious.
one person tell me they didn't like it,
Ah,
and I didn't like that person.
I was going to say, I don't think they were a good person.
I didn't like them.
I can contest, and we have my neighbor who does not drink any. I think I said this before. She does not drink energy drinks. She does not like any sweet sodas or anything. She drank it and she thought it was delicious, delicious. We did a garage sale with her.
Yeah.
She,
So I will ship you a 4-pack. All you got to do is go to the website. And it's right on the front page. Just scroll down a little bit. You'll see it there right below the latest episode. And you'll see a 4-pack, and just put your information in there and we'll ship it off to you.
and don't forget the contest.
Don't forget the contest.
I'll put right
We
in
have
the-
some wonderful items that we want to send to you. We have shirts, we have hoodies, we have blankets, we have a full comforter that goes on your bed. I want to get one of those.
I saw, yeah, looks nice.
I want to get one of those.
And it doesn't cost you a thing.
No, it'll be free if you win. And you know what? At this point, I might pick 2 winners. Or Larry might pick one and I'll pick one.
See, now you're incentivized. Do it.
Yep, do it. So that way you're not just one of many. You're one important one.
There you go.
All right. Hey, we're these 2 guys.
And yes, we are.
Yep.
I wasn't ready for that one. Okay, let's do it again. Do it again.
We're these 2 guys.
Signing off. We love you. Thank you so much for viewing us.
Yep. Peace. Okay. You weren't ready for that.
I wasn't ready for that.
It's these two guys.
These 2 guys. It's these 2 guys.